I never thought a Tuesday night would change my entire life. But there I was, standing in the corner of a rooftop bar in downtown Chicago, holding a glass of sparkling water, watching my coworkers let loose at the annual company holiday party. I wasn't drinking. I never drink at work events, not because I'm boring, but because I'm a dad, a single dad. And the one rule I made for myself after my wife passed 3 years ago was simple: stay sharp, stay present. Liam needs you. Liam is 7. He has his mother's eyes and my stubborn chin. He's the reason I wake up at 5 a.m., pack his lunch the night before, show up to every single soccer practice even when I'm exhausted from a 10-hour shift. He is my entire world wrapped up in one gap-toothed smile. My name is Derek Calloway. I'm a senior data analyst at a mid-sized marketing firm called Bright Path Media. I've been there 4 years, good at my job, quiet, professional. Keep my head down, do my work, go home to my son, and then there's my boss, Victoria Hale. Victoria is 41, sharp as a razor, and runs our department like a military operation. She's brilliant, intimidating, the kind of woman who can silence a boardroom with one look. I respected her deeply, professionally, nothing more, nothing less. That night, though, Victoria was 3 glasses of champagne past her limit. I noticed it around 9 p.m. She was laughing too loud. Her words were getting soft around the edges. Her heels were unsteady on the rooftop terrace. I made a mental note to stay out of her orbit. The last thing I needed was to get caught up in any awkward office drama. But life doesn't care about your mental notes. Around 9:45, she found me near the railing, looking out at the city lights. "Derek," she said, her voice low and warm, in a way I'd never heard from her before. "You know what your problem is?" I turned slowly. I wasn't aware I had one. She stepped closer, too close. I could smell the champagne on her breath, mixed with expensive perfume. "You're too serious," she said, reaching out and straightening my collar, a gesture that felt far too intimate. "You never let anyone in." I stepped back slightly. "Victoria, I think maybe you've had a long night. I've been watching you for 2 years," she said, cutting me off. Her eyes were glassy but direct. "You work harder than anyone here. You never complain. You never ask for anything." She paused. "Don't you ever get lonely?" My jaw tightened. That word, lonely, hit somewhere deep. Because yes, God, yes. Some nights after Liam falls asleep, the silence in that apartment is so loud it's almost unbearable. But that's not something I share at office parties. "I'm fine," I said firmly, and then she leaned in. It happened fast. She tilted her face toward mine, her hand reaching up toward my cheek. I caught her wrist, gently, firmly. The whole moment froze. I looked her directly in the eyes and said, clearly enough for the 2 nearby coworkers who had gone very, very quiet to hear, "Victoria, I respect you as my boss and as a person, but this isn't something I'm going to let happen. Not like this. Not tonight. You deserve better than a moment you'll regret in the morning, and so do I." She blinked. Once, twice. I let go of her wrist carefully, took a small step back and said, still calm, still steady, "I'm going to call you a car, okay? And tomorrow we're going to pretend this didn't happen because I think that's what's best for both of us." The silence around us was thick. Then Marcus, one of the guys from the analytics team, let out a low whistle. Sarah from HR had her hand over her mouth. Nobody moved. Victoria stared at me for a long moment. I genuinely couldn't read her expression. Somewhere between embarrassed, stunned, and something else I couldn't name. Then very quietly she said, "Okay." I pulled out my phone and ordered her an Uber Black, walked her to the elevator, waited until the doors closed. Then I went back to the party, finished my sparkling water, said my goodbyes, and drove home to relieve the babysitter. Liam was asleep, starfished across his bed with his stuffed dinosaur tucked under his arm. I stood in his doorway for a full minute, just watching him breathe. This is why I stay sharp. The next morning I walked into the office prepared for anything.